Welcome guys to my NFL Week 5 recap. I just got done watching the Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Raiders. It was a really good Monday night game, so let's talk about what happened on Thursday night. Oh my god, why did we not have the Chiefs and the Raiders? Why did we not have that game on Thursday night on primetime? We have to have this Colts versus Broncos with Nathaniel Hacks versus a washed up Matt Ryan on primetime. You had Browning, he was testing the offensive line of the Colts, and then it ended ultimately in overtime, 12-19. Again, why the fuck was this game on primetime? The Colts are a dumpster fire. Chris Ballard needs to be fired. The Broncos, again, that Russell Wilson trade is doing so. How great is that Russell Wilson trade? That is paying off really good. Because in the handful of games, Russ has looked mid. And it shows that Seattle doing pretty well without Russ. Like, Geno Smith, he's okay as a secondary quarterback, but again, they're doing better without Russ. But it ended 12-19 to the Colts on the Thursday game. Going into the early ass Sunday game, the Giants versus the Packers. So with 0-3 with a field goal to the 0-3 with Crosby field goal. Then Lazard made it 16-0 in the first. A second and 1 with Lewis to make it 3-17. Crosby made it 10-20. Then it was 13-20 in the third. Brightwell had a touchdown to make it 20-20, and then Barkley 27-22. And the Giants get their fourth win of the season, the 4-1. First time that they've been 4-1 since 2009. Brian Daboll's doing some great stuff, and may continue in New York / New Jersey, and let's see what he can do after this season. And then we have some Bears football. We had the Bears versus the Vikings. It was a divisional game, and again, the Bears going into this game with 2-2. The Vikings were 3-1, and again, the Vikings didn't look good in this game either. Even though they beat the Bears, they didn't look good either, because again, they still got the Bears get a chance in. You had Mooney, who I want to say had a really good. One bit I did like is when Mooney had the ball and he catched it with one arm. That was a fantastic thing he did in the game. But again, the play calling again from Getz, he does it. You're 3rd and 2. Chicago was 3rd and 2, and you go for a HB drive. Santos has a field goal to 22-21. Then you have Jones Jr. that gets his first touchdown of the season, so good for him. But again, it ended 19-21, then 22-29 for Jefferson touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns in the game, and again, it was a typical Bears football, and the Vikings win. They're now 4-1 in the NFC North, and I think they're now top of the division. Then we have the Jags. Then we have the Lions versus the Patriots. The Patriots destroyed the Lions 0-29. Again, it was a complete shutout. That was all I want to talk about. It was a complete shutout, and the Patriots get a win. Then we had the Texans versus the Jags. Jags are starting off really well in the season. They're 2-2. Lovie Smith was coming into this game looking for his first win of the season, and he got the job done. 13-6 overall. You had a couple of field goals and then a touchdown by Pearson in the fourth to make it 13-6. And Lovie Smith got his first win as the Houston Texans head coach. Then you have the Titans versus the Commanders, 21-17. The Titans get the win. Please start Malik Willis as quarterback. I keep saying that every week. Start Malik Willis as quarterback. You're not gonna lose. Okay, you could lose 6 or 7 games, but then if you lose 6 or 7 games, at least you're gonna find out what you have with Malik Willis. Like I keep saying the last 5 weeks now, start the young quarterback and see what you have. Ryan Tannehill, you've reached his potential with Ryan Tannehill. It's time to move on. But the Titans won 21-17, and they're now 4-2 in the regular season. That leaves the Commanders 1-5. Then we had the Falcons versus the Bucks, 15-21. The Bucks get the win. Like I said, with like I said with Malik Willis, start Desmond Ridder as quarterback. Mariota, you know what you've got with Mariota. What have you got with Desmond Ridder? Like, again, he's an unknown talent at the NFL level. Do you have to go back next year and get somebody in the draft? But again, they don't want to play these young quarterbacks. Give young quarterbacks a chance. You had Fournette, who had two touchdowns to make it 0-14 in the third. Avery Williams made it 7-25, and then 13-21, and then 15-21, and the Bucs get the win. That means the Bucs are 3-2, and the Falcons are now 2-3. Then we have the Steelers versus the Bills. Kenny Pickett started this game. Again, it was a complete shutout for the Bills, 3-38. You had Josh Allen, who did this great play call with a 98-yard pass to Davis for his first touchdown to make 0-7. Boswell got the Steelers into the game 3-7, but after that, it was complete Bills domination. Davis got his second touchdown of the game. You had Diggs, who had a touchdown, and Josh Allen had a really good game. Like I said, he was doing some great play calls, but he got over 4,000 yards, and then it was 3-38 to the Bills. And then we had the Seahawks versus the Saints. Geno Smith versus Jameis Winston, 32-39. The Saints get the win. Then we have the Chargers as the Browns. The Chargers get the win 30-28. You had Elker, who had 2 touchdowns in the game. Chubbs had 2 touchdowns in the game. And then it's now, the Chargers are now 3-2 regular season. The Browns are now 2-3. Dolphins versus Jets, 17-40. Again, the Jets, even though that the Jets are still dumpster fire, they beat the Dolphins, which kind of surprised me, but 17-40, and the Jets get the win. Then we have the Cowboys versus the Rams on the prime time on the late, 4 Eastern game, kind of the late Sunday game. It was 22-10. The Cowboys destroyed the Rams again. Ever since the season has started, the Rams haven't been results since last year. Maybe that's because OBJ isn't there, but again, they still have enough talent, like I said in the offseason, with a Bobby Wagner and a Allen Robinson and Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp that can get them out of these situations. Again, it goes like to mean they're still in Super Bowl celebrations from months ago, and they've not got back to the reality that they need to get back to defending the Super Bowl championship, or they're not going to make the playoffs. But anyway, the Cowboys, they're still without Dak Prescott, but it didn't matter because they won the game 22-10. The other late game was 49ers versus the Panthers, 37-15, and Matt Rule was fired. He got his ass fired today, as I'm recording this on Monday night. Matt Rule's got fired, and he needs to be fired. He was with the Panthers for 2 years. He had 11 wins. He had 5 wins in the 2020 season, 5 wins last year, 1 win this year, so 11 wins. And I think he had 12 losses overall. But ultimately, this was Matt Rule's last game as a Panthers head coach, which ended 37-15. Again, the 49ers defense got them the win. And again, if this was if this was 25 years ago, then you'll be looking at a 49ers team as a potential Super Bowl winning team. But again, it's all about the offense. But again, if this was 20 years ago, the defense would win you the Super Bowl. Then we have the primetime game. Then we had the other late game, Eagles versus the Cardinals, 20-17. The Eagles are now 5-0 in the season, the only undefeated team in the NFL. And then again, a good start for the Eagles, 20-17. And then we had the primetime game on Sunday, Bengals versus Ravens, 17-19. And Ravens get the win. Then we get tonight's game, the Raiders versus the Chiefs. This was a really good primetime game. We have Adams with a touchdown in the 4th and 1 to make it 7-0 to the Raiders. Then Jacob has a touchdown to make it 14-0 in the second. 17-0. Then before halftime, the Chiefs get back in the game, and it's 20-7 in the second. Then 17-6, and then 17-7 with right field goal. Then going to the fourth quarter, it's 23-24. You had Kelsey, who had 4 touchdowns in this game. He had a great game tonight. Devontae Adams had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns as well. But ultimately, it was 29-30, 1-point game, and the Chiefs get the win. And that is your NFL recap for Week 5. I'll leave you guys' thoughts in the comments.